Hey y'all, it's Ashley Fields with Yard Art Decor. Today is Thursday, April 8th, and today we are going to be painting our graduation truck blank. If you guys will give me just a couple of minutes, I am going to get my comments pulled up, and then we will get started. Let's see. All right, y'all, let me also share this. Share. Okay. Hopefully, I've got it shared everywhere I need to have it. So, hey Debbie, how are you doing, babe? Hey Kathy, so glad y'all are here. Y'all, I was gonna try to go live at 2 because I have an appointment at 4. But then this morning I went to go start some laundry, and I opened up the lid of my washer machine, and the entire thing is completely full with water, like to the brim. Even my little bleach dispensing tray is full of water. And so I got on the phone with Geek Squad because we had purchased them through through Best Buy a few years ago, and luckily we bought the extended warranty for 5 years. And he's like, do you have any water on the floor? And I said, no. Well, y'all, I had a big pile of laundry on the floor in front of the washer machine. Apparently, it was leaking on the floor, but all that laundry that I had there that I needed to do soaked up all the water. So, needless to say, I now have to go to the laundry mat before my appointment this afternoon and drop off my laundry. Thank goodness that they have like a wash, fold, and dry service, because I have 8 trash bags, like kitchen, size trash bags of laundry. It's crazy. So I guess that's what happens whenever you wait too long to go do your laundry and you have so much laundry to do, and then your washer kind of goes boop and says, I'm not going to work anymore. But hey, Trisha, hi, Irene, Belinda, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Y'all, we're doing, this is the blank, obviously, what this one's going to look like when we get done. I did, the background is seafoam green. And then, obviously, cap and gown, we have black here. You could always trade that out. I got my flesh tone for my hand. You got like a little blue ribbon on the diploma. Red on my taillights and gray on my bumper. And that's pretty much all I have to start with. So I did do 2 coats of white. The reason I do 2 coats of white at the beginning is, number one, because when I'm painting things, I'm usually painting a lot of things at once. So I use the roller to make it really fast on me because I have so many projects going. You guys don't have to do that. If it's obviously only one project that you're working on at a time, you don't have to use 2 coats on yours. So I just got done washing my brushes a little bit ago. And so a lot of my shaders are wet right now. So I'm just getting me a napkin ready so that I can try to dry out some of these brushes. Okay, y'all, this blank is 22 inches tall, right? So whenever I'm choosing a shader, as you guys can see, I have a lot, and so I'm really just looking for something maybe in the 10 to 12 size range. I think if I were to use a 14-16, it might just be, I think this one will be good. I think that's about a 12. I don't know what it is, honestly, because I don't have, okay, it says 1/2 inch. I was about to say half of my the wooden part around your stick is all gone, but I do see on the tag it says 1/2 inch, so it's pretty close to a 12. At this point, I'm just going to get some of that water out of here. And I am going to be using teal to shade seafoam green. Anytime I do seafoam green or sky blue, I use teal for shading on both of those colors. I just think it has a really great contrast. So what's everybody up to today, y'all? I've been I wanted to do 2 lives this week, which I'm going to try to do one tomorrow, assuming we don't have any issues around here. But I want to know what's everybody been up to. I think I've been waiting to do the live on the fish that I painted, the sample of, and the flamingo gnome, because I actually used a certain brush to achieve that, that kind of blended look. And so I went online and I ordered some of them because I felt like if I'm telling y'all that this is the exact brush I use, it's very specific. There wasn't very, tell me I Windex this, I think I did. But there, you know, I've tried it with other brushes, and so I wanted to make sure that the brushes that I'm gonna use to do the blending I had in stock. So I actually got 38 of them delivered here yesterday. I will get those brought to the store on Saturday. And so I might go ahead and do a live tomorrow and just kind of show you guys how I even did that, because I actually used multiple brushes at once. So it is such a beautiful end result, but it does take a little bit of time. All right, y'all, so far I'm just kind of getting some shading on here. I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I like to shade this part, sometimes I don't. I think I'll just shade it. All right, now I don't have a lot of surface area down here, so I don't really get too carried away with all of the, you know, kind of swish marks. Just do a little bit. I'm gonna load up and get just a little bit more and kind of just do one right there. All right, now we're gonna flip it around. So Debbie says she's working on painting her blank for Saturday. Yes, I can't wait, Debbie. Some of you guys I know are in Yard Art Academy, and so that's actually our paid membership group. And so we are doing a free paint party for those ladies this weekend at our store. We're super excited about it. And so a lot of these ladies have been, you know, kind of with us on this journey since the very beginning. And we've never had an opportunity to really get to meet up with everybody and put names and faces together and, you know, just kind of get to know each other a little bit more. So we're super excited about that. But yeah, I had a couple of people had asked me to base coat their blanks for our paint party, and I actually got 2 more of those done just this morning. All right, y'all, as you can see on my shading lines here, I don't really have a lot of space in there, so I'm not adding any more kind of swish marks when it comes to the teal left on my brush. I'll kind of come in with some white highlights, but it's just such a thin area. I don't want to make it too busy. All right, so let me bring my water over. Let me get this brush washed out. I'm trying to think, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our cap and gown. All right, y'all, whenever you are doing anything that has black as a base color, and you know you need to add something to it, because if you were to just leave it at black, it really would, it just needs something more, you know, some shading. And so I've recently started kind of shading black, just the same way I shade everything else, but I shade it with white using a shader. And I've really been liking that end result and how that looks. So I'm gonna just use white here on my cap and gown. Y'all, this pattern, don't feel like you have to paint it this way. This is more of a generic way to paint it that can work, you know, for anybody. But if you would rather paint them in the colors of your graduate, then obviously go for that. We live, or I live in Conroe, but our store is in Pearland. And so I did paint like some samples to go to the store that were done in maroon and black, because that is Pearland High School's colors. I've also painted one for somebody in Friendswood, and their colors are like a brilliant blue and white. And so I've done the same thing. You know, I've customized this with colors to kind of go with the grad's school and the school colors. So this one's obviously more general, but don't feel like you have to use these colors. You could always use the colors of the high school that the graduate's going to. You know, I'm still sticking with that same brush. This is probably about a number 12. Trying to make sure I got a little bit of teal on there. You'll know how it goes whenever you start shading and you have wet colors. It's easy to kind of pick up some of those colors in that brush. I am going to come back at, obviously, when we start outlining, and this will get outlined in black. So I know it looks a little thick right here. That's kind of really on purpose. Just gonna give it a couple little swish marks. All right. Just a little bit. So, all right, y'all. Let me see. Move this out. I need to, only other thing I'm gonna shade, I'm gonna get a little bit of navy on my brilliant blue, I don't know, I guess your ribbon was what you would call it, the ribbon tied around your diploma. And then we'll do a little bit of shading flesh too. I'm gonna switch brushes and get a number 10. This one. Because this is such a small area, so you don't want your brush to really overpower what you're trying to do. So, hi Becky, how are you, babe? Hope you're doing well. Get a spoon in here. I'm gonna get this mixed up, y'all. This is kind of, it's on the thick side. I'll do just a couple drops of water in there. Y'all know when I'm shading, I like to add a little bit of water to my paint and thin it down just a little bit, because I find that it glides better for me and that my strokes look more fluid and uniform. So if you find that maybe, you struggle with your strokes, maybe the strokes of the brush kind of coming through, and maybe you can't do long strokes, try to add just a little bit of water. It can really make a difference. And come back this way because it's a little thinner on that side. Go. All right. Again, wash this out, and then we'll just get a little bit of shading here on our brilliant blue with some navy, and then I'm going to go ahead and blow dry it, and we can, or actually I need to do the gray on my bumper, and then we can start outlining. Let me clean that. All right. Let me grab a little bit of navy. Y'all, I have already been working on Christmas over here. In fact, I started priming those big plaid trucks. So yesterday I was taping and doing the plaid, and I told my husband last night, I was like, y'all, I cannot do this plaid. It takes forever. The painting takes forever. It's so pretty. I love the end result, but that taping drives me nuts. So I've basically just been kind of working on that. I'm noticing I pulled up a little bit of that flesh tone in my brush, so just kind of wipe that off and keep on going with it. I might even come back and just do a little bit more. All right. Again, cap this. Let's flip it around and get a little bit of gray. So y'all, in our paint palette, if you're using our paint colors, we only have gray number 24. We don't have any other versions of gray. But the way that I darken it is I just take my gray and I add a little bit of black to it. That's it. No big deal. Hi Cheryl. Hi Kitty. How are you guys? Hope y'all are well. It's such a beautiful day out. In fact, I got up this morning and I looked at the weather and it was like 50 something degrees, but it did say it was, I think the high here is like 86 or 88 or something. But I walked out the house in pants because it was chilly, and now it's like really stinking hot out there, and I need to go switch to some shorts. All right, y'all, this is just a mixture of my light gray, which is my base, okay, with a little bit of black in it. So this is just going to be a touch darker. It's hand mixed. Anybody can do that. You don't even have to have gray. If you only have black and white, you can make gray. I have some paint boogers in here. Oh, that's nasty. Okay. So I think I'll just use that number 10 just because I already happen to have it out. Just dip the corner and get some shading down here. You could even, I know we have done some of the metallic colors before, like gold and silver, and there is a Deco Art metallic silver that is indoor outdoor, And so that silver actually tends to leave kind of streaks inside of it when you're painting with it, but it makes it almost look realistic with the streaks. I think the streaks actually look really good. And so that's another color that you could use instead of your gray, if that's something you wanted to do. Alrighty. There is our shading. I am not going to be shading the taillights because they're just so tiny. I don't want it to end up being like a dark red blob. And then the diploma again is very small, so it's something I'm just kind of leaving. I think before I start blow drying, I want to, I did some polka dots and stripes on the back of the banner. All right, and so that's just by freehand, y'all. There is no template for that. You know, there's no lines etched on here, so you don't even have to do it if you don't want to. I am just looking for a brush that I might want to use. I think I'm going to use this one because it's real small. And then I just use regular gray in the background. All right, regular gray. So the same gray I use down here on my bumper is the same gray that I'm going to use. So I'm just grabbing kind of a little brush, y'all. This is a number 10, and it's just again freehand. I just kind of eyeball it. Try to get a couple little stripes on there. Just something to kind of jazz it up. Alright, so 3 stripes. Same thing. If you didn't want to do the polka dots, you could do vertical and horizontal stripes. That would also look really good. Alrighty, put that brush up. And then just do a couple of polka dots, y'all. I sat out. I got so much stuff up here. I came out earlier and put a sponge dauber over here. And of course, now that I'm over here, I can't find it. I guess I put it up. All right. This one, y'all, is just a really small one. I'm going to say this is probably 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit smaller. Just going to dip this one in. And you just want a couple on here. You don't want to really overdo it or overpower anything. Nothing too crazy. I even do some where they're kind of coming off the edge a little bit. And then I really just take my finger while it's wet and just kind of pick up that excess. No big deal. So, hi Carla, how are you doing? Hi PJ. I'm so glad y'all came to hang out with me. It's been a while since I've been on live. I don't think I've been on live since we did our sneak peek. So we have this one today. I'm going to try to, I think we're going to do maybe the flamingo gnome tomorrow and just do the blending work. I'm going to have to probably do that one in 2 parts because it's not one that I base coat beforehand. I only do 1 coat of white on it and then I do all my blending. And so we might just do the blending tutorial tomorrow, and then after I get it base coated, I can come back on and finish everything on there. But it's so much fun to do. So glad you're doing well, Carla. Carla, remind me, are you not coming this weekend? I know there's a Carla not coming. And if it's you because you're out of town, I'm sorry, we will miss you. Just gonna get this blow dried a little bit. I obviously need it completely dry whenever I go to start doing any of the outlining. So gonna hit it for a couple minutes until we get it dry, and then we can start outlining it and really bringing this piece together. I think that'll probably be good enough. Hi Joyce, how are you? Can't wait to see y'all on Saturday. All right, y'all. Before I actually start outlining with, see, that one keeps doing the letter V on me. I could already tell right when I picked it up. I don't know if y'all have seen this at all, but sometimes your script liners start doing that too, and they're just driving me crazy. And so I actually just washed it. And the only thing I really know to do with that is once it's washed, actually, let me get it wet. If you have a brush that's kind of splitting and not doing things you want, when it's wet, I want you to take your fingers and kind of pull it together and give it the shape that you want it to have, and then lay it down flat and let it completely dry. Sometimes that will help to get your bristles kind of back where you want them, but I think this one will work for me. I'm going to get my red, and we're going to go ahead and do our letters on class and do our numbers on 2021. I want you guys to notice that there is the one left off. It just says 202 and then there's a space. We did that on purpose. That way, if you wanted to paint this blank this year, you know, because you've got a graduate this year, you know, you write in that one, and then next year maybe you've got another graduate or grandson or a neighbor or whatever that you might want to reuse it again. That way you could just kind of paint back over here and then add in your 2 for 2022 or 2023. You know, you could obviously use this and just redo the numbers, and that's no big deal. All right, so I just got some of that red in here. I'm just watering it down until I get the right consistency. Whenever I am doing numbers, letters, anything like that, I'm doing script liner work. I always water down my paint to where it's almost like dripping. Once I have that kind of right consistency, it's a lot easier for me to do lettering. So, I don't know if you guys could see this, but see how it's like really dripping? We're gonna try it. I might need to add a little bit more water, we'll see. But I kind of, once I get done mixing it, I almost offload it and then just start loading the tip. All right. And now these letters on here, I don't think you guys could probably see them very well, but they are etched. So I'm not freehanding this by any means. I am simply staying inside those lines. I don't like that brush. I've been kind of going between like 4 different script liners. And some of them, the newer they are, the thinner I can get my lines. The older they are, the thicker my lines get, because I really just wear my brushes out so much. And so that first one, I wasn't quite liking the thickness I was getting. I felt like it was a little too thick. So switching it out, y'all, this is still the exact same brush. This is still a Royal Gold script liner, number 4. Now, when I am doing letters, y'all, I do move my piece around. Notice how I'm also resting my arm. That's just to kind of help me place my hand down and stay inside of those lines. So it's obviously something you're going to want to do when your piece is dry, which is why I'm doing it now as opposed to after I outline. Love this red on here. It just really pops without being too much. Kind of went outside of my line. No worries. Good thing is when you do that and it's still wet, just take your finger and clean it up. I think that's how I get so dirty all the time, because I'm always just using my fingers to clean up my boo-boos, and then I just wipe it on my clothes. Hi Karen, how are you doing, babe? Same thing over here. Grabbing that paint. Letter S's are always just a little bit harder because, you know, it's got a lot of twists and turns. So I do have to kind of slow down just a little bit to make sure that I'm staying in my lines and that my letters really are gonna match, you know? Sometimes, especially when you have like 2 letters in a row, it's easier to see when you have boo-boos. So, Trisha, this is just red number 20, regular red. Our regular red. Y'all, those of us who have been painting for a while, y'all know how it is to find a decent red. And this one we've been using for years. And when it comes to red, y'all, this is decent, okay? I've never found a red that I'm like, yes, I love that. That's the best red ever. Doesn't happen. Never found it. I don't know that it even exists. But we really like this one. And then our supplier told us, I guess it was like back in December, that they discontinued it. And so he actually went to several other, we get our paint at Ace Hardware, so he actually contacted some of the other Ace Hardwares that had some in stock and got them to send their stock to our store. And so he ended up getting me, I think, 14 gallons of red, which might last me a few more months. And then we're gonna have to go find a new red. Y'all, these letters are just taking forever, and that's really because I am just shaking today. Just kind of filled with a little anxiety. And when that happens, y'all, I just tend to shake a little bit and take a little longer. So yes, I know it's taken a little long. I'm sorry. Good thing is the outline on here is rather quick. I'm gonna turn it. All right, now the number 1, I am just gonna freehand, okay? Oh, look, I see something about Disney World. Watching you in Disney World, Kitty, I am so jealous. How is it? Is it busy? Is it packed? Is it still a fun and magical experience even with COVID going on? We were really hoping to take our daughter on well, we were supposed to go to Jamaica last summer. I was supposed to get married last June, but our wedding got canceled. And that was gonna be like our daughter's first trip on a plane, first trip outside of the United States. Hey, me too, because honestly, I've only been to Mexico, but I've walked across the border in Mexico. I've never flown into Mexico. So we were super excited about that, and it got canceled because of COVID. And so my daughter keeps asking, when are we gonna reschedule? And I'm like, there's still all these crazy things going on when it's coming to travel right now, that we're just gonna have to wait it out, you know? And so I'm hoping that we can maybe do a nice vacation next year, but we're just not quite there yet. So, all right, y'all, I am gonna now get my black, and we are just gonna start outlining. I can tell y'all this, I have painted a few of these patterns already, and I find, for me, the tassel was something I really, really struggled with. I tried multiple different kind of ways of doing it. I've tried to shade, I tried to not shade, I used gray, I've used black, and I really could not get the tassel to be the way I really wanted it to be. It was just one of those things that, I don't know, it's like sometimes you get like almost a mental block when you keep trying something and you really just don't like the outcome of it over and over and over. And so I can't say that I love the end result of this tassel, but it was definitely something that was very difficult for me. I could not figure out the way I wanted it to look, you know? I don't know if you guys ever feel like that, but it really gets annoying. And you keep trying to do it over and over and over, and you're like, no, that's just not quite it. It's not quite it, you know. All right. Yo, I just love this truck. I think it is so darling. I want to say this is a Bless Your Art by Ashley template. I'm pretty sure. So So if anybody is wanting the template, you can go get it from her on her Etsy shop. She really has some cute templates, and in fact, we're using several of hers this month. Y'all, here's another thing I'm just seeing and I'm thinking about, so I'll tell you guys. This black that we're using, whenever I've noticed when I'm using a newer script liner and my bristles are still quite firm, when it comes to outlining in this black, it almost is like see-through, and you could see your strokes in there. So sometimes I just have to kind of gather a little bit more paint and go back over those strokes just to try to darken them a little bit. Whenever I used to be using that old raggedy script liner you guys saw in the first, I don't know, 6 months plus 9 months of my videos, that one was an old script liner, so it really would soak up paint and do a good job of kind of like hiding things. But then when you are using something that's not near as broken in, you can see some of those streaks. So if that's something that you find that you're doing, know that you're not alone. I also deal with the same. And I kind of just grab some more paint and keep going over it a little bit. Okay. Hi Cheryl, how are you, babe? Hi Mary Kay. Hope everybody's doing good. You know, it's such a beautiful day. Such a beautiful day. Like, it's totally the kind of day that I feel like I need to be at the beach with my feet in the sand and listening to kids running around and having fun. It's just so pretty outside today. Alright. You know, I don't know why, but I really feel like I'm moving like a sloth. I apologize for that. I'm leaving that hand. I am going to come back on my hand with a little bit of shading red. So I'm just really going to kind of keep turning it and finishing it out. Y'all, it's hard to believe that graduation is already kind of on the horizon. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the school year just started not that long ago. I'm sure the teachers and educators that we know would disagree. I'm sure they're tired and they're ready for summer. But me as a parent, I'm like, man, it doesn't, I don't know, time just goes by so fast. And it just doesn't seem right that it's already here. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think I was talking to my mom the other day about how fast time really does fly. And it is just one of those things that gets the faster and faster the older you get. And I've always heard that, but obviously being a parent and the older I've gotten, I'm like, wow, it really does fly. Alright, now I'm just gonna kind of take a little black and work on my banner. I just love this banner, it's so cute. If somebody can remind me, after I get done with the video, I have 2 other samples that I could post photos of that are done in specific high school colors. Like one's for Pearland High School and one's for Friendswood High School. And then, you know, maybe that could just help you guys kind of get some ideas if you're wanting to do, you know, a more color specific truck for a grad, then, you know, can kind of help you get some ideas on where to go with that. So I will try to remember after I get done with here, I'll just post them on this video in the comments. Hey Mom, do you think graduation services will be done in person? Wondering about all that since COVID. You know, I saw that our high school over here that Carly's going to be going to, they're having their graduation at Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. And based on what I could see, I didn't see that they're limiting, you know, I did see another school, I can't remember which one in the area, but they're only letting 2 people attend for each grad. I don't know, I think every school district's kind of different based on, you know, what the parents are wanting. I don't know about other districts, but I know our district is always asking, they're kind of putting out like questionnaires and emails, surveys and stuff like that, trying to really figure out what parents are wanting, and they kind of usually go by that. So, I don't know. And Debbie, yeah, Debbie says, so true, the older you get. Yes. So true. This one will be done here in just a couple minutes. Just gotta finish this black, and then we add a little bit of white, and then I'll be done. Just love this pattern. I think it's so precious. Alvin is 10 tickets per student. Oh, that's great. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. I really felt, you know, for those kids that were seniors last year and they lost out on, you know, the last few months of their senior year. They lost out on prom. They lost out on graduation. And, you know, for those kids that were seniors in 2020, that was something I know everybody was looking forward to. You know, you're looking forward to that your entire high school career. I just really felt for them. And so I'm glad to hear that the class of 2021, in most cases, I think, at least around us, are getting to have a graduation. I don't know about prom, but at least graduation. Alrighty, bring this down. Y'all, long straight lines, not my thing. If y'all look up real close on my pieces, you'll see that my lines are definitely not straight. They are kind of almost jaggedy. So if that's something that you feel like, man, my lines shouldn't be like that, they should be perfectly straight. No, I mean, we all hope to be able to do that, but if y'all really look at my stuff, it's not at all. And then let me just get a little bit of black right here around my license plate. Be real careful. If you're like me and you have a really heavy hand, it's easy to paint over top of your letters, or your numbers. So be careful not to have too heavy of a hand on that. Okay. Just double checking, making sure I'm good. All right. I actually want to get the shading red on my hand right quick for my outline on my flesh, and then we will get some white. So Debbie says prom's on for Pearland. That's awesome. Good for them. I'm so happy for them. Mary says, is the base color seafoam green? Yes, seafoam green, and then teal for shading. So let me see, shading red. You only need just a touch, you know, you don't need very much on here. This is really thick. Ugh, way too thick. Water that down just a little bit. Maybe I'll put too much water in it, but I think I'll be okay. Y'all, when it comes to flesh, I just feel like flesh looks best outlined in shading red. It's just not near as harsh and dark as black. Not only that, it pops a little bit as well. So a little bit of that, and then now we're just got some highlights. Debbie says, my lines wobble. Girl, me too, me too. I almost almost feel like if they were perfectly straight, it wouldn't be my painting, I can tell you that. Because my lines are never straight. Now, I need to get some more water in my white, y'all. I like more water in my white than any other color. White, I definitely like it as watered down as I can get it, that I could still use it as paint. So like really dripping. Now on my lights, I kind of just did a few really, really light lines for some cross hatch. I think that's what you call it, cross hatching. Just gonna go across 3 times and then go across the other way 3 times. Nothing perfect. It don't need to be perfect. And then right here at the base of my flag, I almost just do some very light, kind of wispy white lines in like a V shape. Not too much. Now that of is obviously really wet, but I would do, when it's dry, which I could pull the one behind me, do just a couple of white swish marks inside of there. Thank you, Carly, you're so sweet. I really like the cross hatching, thank you. All right, y'all, now my tire down here behind me, I just did one little line. But on the samples that I did, I kind of did, I might want to switch brushes now that I'm thinking about that. Where, let me see. This is a number 4 kind of flat tip. Just kind of do a few squiggles. Nothing's got to be perfect. But if you do that, it just kind of, you know, makes it come to life just a little bit better than a perimeter kind of mark on there. Definitely not perfect. It's freehand, so, you know, I don't expect it to be perfect or symmetrical or anything like that. I'm gonna switch back to my script liner. Y'all, that brush I just used, it's like a number 4, but it's really, really short. Like real short bristles. And it's not a script liner. I think it's actually like a flat tip, which is tiny. All right, so just kind of come around. Remember I told you I didn't have a whole lot of space over here to add any swish marks or with my shader. So that's kind of when I come in with that white and add just a little bit to it. Now, I'm trying to see, trying to remember how I did this, what do you even call this? I guess like the button that holds the tassel on the cap. I don't know if it has a certain name for it or anything. See, that's super, super wet right here, so I'm gonna do my best. I might just have to leave that alone and come back to that because I've got a lot of wet paint right there. I'm also picking up black and making it gray here on my brush. I'm gonna come in over here and just add boop, boop. And I think I'm done. My tassel, I really need to let that dry, y'all, and I'll come back in with my black and kind of clean up this one line right here because right now it's looking a little funky. But other than that, I think it's good. Looks good. I'm gonna put that up, cap it. And this is your graduation truck. All right, y'all, I did 2 coats of white as the base. The reason I did that is because I used a roller because I do like, you know, 10 or 15 of something at a time. So white is my base. I used a seafoam green on my truck. Obviously capping down, my wheels are black. I used flesh on the hand and brilliant blue on my ribbon. And then obviously just regular red on class 2021 and my tail lights. So shading on my seafoam, I used teal. On flesh, I used shading flesh. On brilliant blue, I used navy blue. And on gray on my bumper, I just mixed a little bit of gray with black to make like a darker gray, essentially. And then obviously just outlined in black. So there is our grad truck. Y'all, let me pull this one right quick. I want to add a little bit of white onto that because it does make a difference. These little subtle kind of details can really make a difference to me in the finished look of your product. And so little things like, and honestly I probably should come and paint over this white and add the kind of tire marking, but I do think these little subtle details that you add, it just really, it makes it, I don't know, it just makes it better to me. So thank you, Debbie. Thanks, Mary. Remember to post pics of after colors. I sure will. They're bigger trucks than this, but it's obviously the same pattern that I've painted. So I can post photos so y'all could see just some different kind of color options. Nothing too crazy, y'all. Just add a little bit of white onto that. That's the only thing I'm going to do differently, or add to the one we just got done with. But that's it. There is our graduation truck. So thank you everybody for coming to hang out. I think tomorrow, assuming I don't have any more issues and like, you know, flooding my laundry room and all the fun stuff that was going on this morning, I'm going to try to hop on live and just do the blending part on our flamingo gnome. And then that one will end up being a two-parter. I'll have to come back on to do the finish work on it. But all the blending work has to get done before you base coat it because you're gonna really make a huge mess all over everything. And so I think I'm gonna try to hop on tomorrow afternoon and do that one with you. But other than that, that's all we got for today. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will post those other photos in the comments of this video so you can see other options, other ways that you can paint these trucks. And obviously, if there's any more questions, you guys just post them in the comments and I will get back to y'all soon. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I will see you guys tomorrow. And bye, everybody. Thanks.